What's up, guys? Another day, another dollar. I had to come to a hard truth this morning. I've been lying to myself for the last 2 years and telling myself that the reason I'm not as jacked as I used to be is because I just don't love the gym enough. You know what I'm saying? And every day I've been trying to convince myself that I love going to the gym. And it's like, oh, I love this. I love this shit. And you know what? Today I just had to accept it. I fucking hate going to the gym now. I don't like going to the gym. It's so fucking inconvenient. There's so much shit I want to do with my day, but then I'm like, oh, gotta go to the gym. You know, I don't fucking like going to the gym, and I've been trying to sit here and tell myself for the last 2 years, like trying to convince myself that I like it. But honestly, it's freeing, right? Because it's easier to tell myself, okay, I don't like doing this, but I have to do it anyway because I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the, I just don't want to be fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, man, being fat, call me fat phobic, bro, but man, if I was fat, I would cry myself to sleep every night. I would be so upset. I just don't want to be fat. It's like that's a fear. So it's easier for me to sit here and be like, okay, yeah, I don't like going to the gym. I don't like going to the gym anymore. It's just not who I am. But I'm going to do it anyway because I have to, and I'm just going to suffer through it every day. That is easier than trying to sit here and convince myself that I like it when I don't. Today's video topic is having a hoe phase versus having a girlfriend, right? And why I don't understand hoe phase anymore. It just doesn't make sense to me. Hoe phase at the root of it is looking for acceptance, right? By multiple people, in my eyes. And the reason I think that is because it's worse on every front compared to having a girlfriend physically. I don't know. Look, I'm a man who cares about having good sex. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't give a shit if I fucked all the girls in the world, if all of it was mid. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about this. I actually asked this question on my Instagram, but I said, would you rather have sex with a 4 out of 10, but it's the craziest fucking shit you've ever experienced in your life? Like, she's sucking you so good, you're like, you're nutty. Like, you can't even believe what you're feeling. She's sucking your, but she's grabbing your ass cheeks and pulling your ass cheeks apart as she's sucking your shit. She's a 4, but she is transcending you to a different plane. You are nutting in ways that you never knew you could nut, and she is going crazy on it. She's wet as fuck. Like, it's just life-changing shit. Or a 10 out of 10, right? But the sex is terrible. Like, she lays there like a starfish, right? And this is a video of mine on Instagram that did really well. And a lot of people overwhelmingly said the 4 out of 10. So then, is it truly beauty that people want, or is it the quality of, like, the sex? I don't know. I think it depends on the person. I think if you're looking for beautiful girls to love you, you want that validation that hot girls want you. Versus the guys that choose the 4, they don't give a fuck about that. They just want to feel like, they just want to experience the crazy shit. I don't know. Right, so the thing about hookups is, like, it's hard to have amazing sex with someone the first go around. You know, even the first couple times. Like, you got to get to know each other. Like, sex is something you build, you know? And guys that tell me they've never had a girlfriend, but they have 150 bodies or some stupid shit like that, in my mind, it's just like, I look at them and I'm like, I don't feel like you've ever experienced what crazy sex actually is. Like, you're sitting here going around, like, sure, all the girls love you, but have you really experienced that crazy, mind-altering, life-changing sex? Like, I just don't think that you have. Because how could you? You know what I'm saying? Sex is something you got to build with someone, because it's like sexual compatibility, right? You find out what they like, and you adjust. They find out what you like, and the compatibility gets more. Now they know every single thing you like. Maybe you guys are talking late one night and you know, admit some kinks that you've never admitted to anyone, and she's like, oh, I'll do all that shit. And you're like suddenly stunned. You know what I mean? And you're doing all that shit. And you can't just bring that up in a one-night stand situation. So I just think it's dumb. If you're looking for, you know, good sex, intimacy, you know what I'm saying, a girl to play video games with, the hookup thing doesn't make sense. That's why, in my mind, it's just like you're sort of looking for, like, validation that you're, like, that guy. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, I pull hella bitches. But are you going to have the craziest sex you've ever had in your life? No. You're just going to feel like you're like oh, I'm conquering all these women, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm Alexander the Great, you know. But let's say you're into anal gaping, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe like deep down you're really submissive. You can't just tell a girl that you met at the bar that first night, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you could, but she'd look at you, but she doesn't know you like that, you know. But let's say you've been dating a girl for a while and you're like, look, I want you to beat me and whip me and use me as a sex slave. I don't even want food or water. I just want to be treated like an object, like just a personal toy solely for your pleasure. And she has the higher possibility of being like, all right, yeah, let's fucking do it. And that was what you wanted all along. And you can't just bring that up. So like, I just think the hookup thing, it doesn't make sense to me as I got older. And I also look back on my own experience, you know, and when I was sort of doing the whole hookup phase thing, it's not that I actually wanted these girls. I did it to like try and prove something to myself, that I could try to pull women. It's not that I wanted to have a bunch of sex or I wanted all these girls. I felt like I wanted to prove something to myself and the people around me, which is sad. You know what I mean? Versus when you have a girlfriend, you know, you're like, babe, I want you to fucking tie a leash around my dick and drag me by my balls, and like that's what you're into. Then you can explore that, you know. Or something. I don't know. You know, it's like maybe you have some weird shit going on, and you're like, I've always wanted to get pegged so bad, you know. Like, all right, with that one, there's probably a bunch of girls that hook up that have always wanted to peg someone, so you could probably do that. But you know what I'm saying? Maybe you're like, babe, I've always wanted to gape you. You know what I'm saying? I just want to spread that shit open. She's like, all right, you know, because you have that connection, and then you explore that, you build that, you know. Like I think what most guys want is like, I think they get construed with what they want. But, you know, deep down, you know, I think even all the incels, it's kind of sad because the reason they're like that is all they really wanted was love. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't feel this much anger if they didn't deep down desire love. And the fact they're angry is they're not getting it. So everyone, I think, deep down just wants to be loved. They want to have that connection. You know what I'm saying? But I think that it gets thrown off by a bunch of things. But maybe you have a hoe phase because your kink in itself is just being with a bunch of women. Then why don't you go join a polyamorous relationship and have your own little harem around the house? You know what I'm saying? I heard you get like a submissive polyamorous harem, you know what I'm saying, that you know, basically a little sex slaves running around the house, that they all like it. I mean, that seems like a better alternative, but I mean, I know that's a hard thing to acquire. Sex slave was a strong word. I just know that, like, you know, I took the BDSM test, and I know that there's groups that just like, they want to serve a master in a group or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But you get what I mean. Building that connect, it's like, because you got to seriously ask yourself, like, have I had that crazy life-changing sex? Like, to the point where, like, because some guys also, like, sex is like an ego thing where they don't really care about how they feel. They just want to, like, prove to themselves that they're really good at sex. So they, like, do their best to make the girl crazy, feel awesome and stuff like that. They're grinding for it, you know. But have you, and it's like an ego thing, like, oh yeah, I fuck them crazy style, you know. I've been there. But have you ever truly had mind-boggling sex where you're the one who's getting their mind blown? You know what I mean? Like, you're the one. I think it is like a bit of an ego thing, you know, because you want to prove to yourself, oh, I fuck bitches and I fuck them crazy. But, like, have you ever had your world rocked? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever blacked out with your ears ringing while you nut? You know what I'm saying? And you just can't believe what's even happening to you, to the point where you just, like, your mind's blank. Like, mind erasure level shit. Like, you just can't even think. You're just seizing up as you nut. You fucking pass out. You wake up later. You're like, what happened to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think a lot of people have experienced that because they're not willing to get to that level with someone and communicate what they want out of sex. A lot of people don't do this, I found out, especially like other relationships. I feel like it's important to like have a sit-down conversation and talk about like different sexual kinks and fantasies and, like, you know, stuff like that. I feel like that's a part of communication, because sex life in a relationship is important. And I feel like it's important to have that conversation. I've asked my friends, I was like, you ever have that conversation? You ever tell her what you're like really like want to do, or what she really wants to do? And astoundingly, the answer is no. And sometimes, like, and they even made a whole like I don't know, it's like one of those YouTube documentaries. What is it? Fucking, I don't remember. But where like girls told their boyfriends their kink, and the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, how the fuck did they not already know what her kink was? They've been dating for fucking 5 years. How do you not know what your girlfriend's kink is? Your guy's sex life must be ass. I'm saying, like, it is like, it's something to build upon that can be improved. I just feel like people aren't ready to talk about that kind of shit. Like, if you have some weird ass kink, like, you're like, obviously this is extreme, but you go to your girl and you're like, babe, I want you to sound me, right? And if you don't know what sounding is, look it up. I'm not gonna explain it on this video. Awful, scary shit, but hey, if you're into it, you're into it, and it's between you and your partner, then who am I to judge? I feel like everyone needs to have that conversation, and I feel like that's not even like a thought to even bring up to have that conversation. Maybe you're like, if you guys sat down and maybe you guys as guys or you guys as girls can think about this in your own relationships and be like, you know, let's say you sat down with your partner and they told you they had a kink that you just never could have saw coming, and you're like, I totally would have done that if you would just told me. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. Maybe like you have something you're hiding deep down, you know, and you're like, hey, I want to do this, and they're like, I would have done that if you told me earlier, and you guys could have been having way better sex. So it's like, what's the point of hooking up with people, having a bunch of literal mediocre to low tier sex, you know, just to prove that you can fuck, versus having that person that can just go crazy with you. You know what I'm saying? If that's the goal, if you just care about sex, then you can find that person and just go absolutely bananas. You know what I'm talking about? So remember, sex life in a relationship context, between a relationship, whether you're dating or married, it's important. You know, that's why there's sex therapists for married couples, you know, like where they always talk about like, how's the sex life? That's like a common question built up. And usually when that collapses, the relationship starts to collapse. Don't ask me why, but it's just like a weird correlation. When they stop having sex, things start going downhill. You know what I mean? Because it's part of intimacy, you know, and that's what you're looking for, love and intimacy with someone. And I'm always talking in the context of relationships. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hate going to the gym. Thank you to everyone who posted me as your, like you guys shared on Instagram. I was on your YouTube recap. Thanks for everyone that's watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.